afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Our team presentation is about racial inequality and climate change. However, we're not only going to talk about those two topics, we're also going to talk about how to solve it, and we believe in it. As a team, we say all colors are beautiful. Next slide. Did you know racial inequality and climate change interconnect with each other? Next slide. But before we move on, we need to understand what is racial inequality. Well, racial inequality is defined as an imbalance in distribution of power, economic resources, and opportunities due to race differences. We, the youth generation, shall all stand together and stop this crisis. Next slide. What is climate change? Climate change is changes happening in temperature and weather due to burning fossil fuels, led by human activity. Next slide. Let me introduce you to our team. I'm Ipiri and my teammates are Hiranga, Nelson, Joy, and Emma. Next slide. These are the topics of our mini presentations that me and my teammates are going to cover further on. Next slide. But now, to answer the question, how does racial inequality affect climate change? This is because one person can't fight climate change. It's good. Next slide. But imagine 5 times more. It's even better. Next slide. Wait, no. Imagine all people of all races and all communities. It will be like an army of people trying to help and stop climate change. It will be wonderful. No, spectacular. Next slide. But now, how does climate change affect racial inequality? This is because when natural disasters happen, they break down our homes, leaving us homeless, foodless, and with no education. Next slide. Historically, in a matter of fact, indigenous communities have been subjected to years of colonialism, historical trauma, and systemic racism. It is unfair. Next slide. How can we help the indigenous communities? We can help the indigenous communities by giving them equal access to education, job opportunities, access to healthcare, trade and economics, empowerment and encouragement, right to express themselves, and access to managed civil support. And please remember, no matter what skin color you have, stay smiling and let's start working for a bright, happy future because your skin color is unique. Next slide. At the same time, we can also help by creating a website and put motivating videos all over social media platforms to help motivate people stop racism. Next slide. Moving on to climate justice. I think climate justice is important because we should take care of our planet. We are still humans no matter what skin color we have. This is our home. Next slide. How can we help our home planet? We can help our home planet by stop pollution, not littering, saving water, sharing transportation, conserving energy, using less plastic, using more eco-friendly recyclable materials, and last but not least, recycle the things you've already used. Next slide. Moving on to my fellow friend Hiranga.
How we could impact climate change by addressing racial inequality. Next slide. Less inequality will reduce competition between individuals. Next slide. Better access for indigenous people towards formal education and healthcare will help reduce climate change. Next slide. These are the indigenous Vedda people of Sri Lanka, my country. Next slide. Indigenous people depend on the environment for food and shelter. As a result, any impact on the environment will affect the indigenous community much more than other groups. Next slide. Sharing knowledge with everyone will help them better coexist with the environment. There is a lot we can learn from the indigenous people about coexisting with the environment, obtaining medicines in the form of herbs, cultivation of agricultural produce using natural methods, living in the presence of wildlife without harming or attacking them. Next slide. Over to you, Nelson.
Okay, thank you, Hiranga. Okay, topic 1. To stop pollution. To stop pollution, such as air pollution, like to stop factories from making smoke. Next slide. Thank you. A, optimizing the factory's operations, that is, use greener, more energy efficient operations. Further environmental advantages of going green include better air quality, lead to better health to all human race. Recycling materials lead to less wastage and it minimizes landfill, trash such as plastic. Next slide, please. Thank you. B, adoption of more electric cars, club cars, bicycles, motorcycles, and even electric aeroplanes. When buying any vehicles, we should consider buying electric vehicles, but not fuel vehicles. Petrol and diesel cars release toxic air pollutants, which add to air pollution levels. Using public transport to travel, invest in e-bus instead of using private cars, vehicles. Next, please. Okay, thank you. Topic 2, helping to protect the ocean and take more action on climate change. Educate the people about the oceans and marine life to help reduce our carbon footprint. By the amount of carbon dioxide released as we go about our daily activities, example, switch to LED bulbs, ride a bike and leave the car at home, take the stairs, open the windows for airflow. Next, please. Protecting the ocean is key to fighting climate change. Seychelles, 30% of the oceans are under protection. NGOs in Seychelles, like Nature Seychelles and others, had been planting coral in several areas. Scientists reveals that to preserve the ocean increases food supply and reduce carbon emission. We must protect at least 30% of the global ocean. Next. Pass to Joy. No. Oh, my conclusion. Scientists and people fighting for racial justice agree that the best way to overcome the climate crisis is by allowing and listening to indigenous communities. At the end of the day, all life on Earth is interconnected. Every bad thing we do on land will destroy our ocean. Please let's respect our environment. Pass it to Joy.
Hi, I'm Joy, and I'll be starting now. Everyone in the society, including women and us children, are dependent on the environment for food, medicinal values, and lifestyle. Next, please. Pollution and climate change affects all. Therefore, everyone is entitled to take part in conserving the environment. We can do this by raising awareness about underrepresented groups in the society, like women and children. Once children are taught about the benefits of conserving and not polluting the environment at a young age, we will be preparing a healthy environment in future. Thank you.
Climate change and newly immigrated people. Next slide, please. Newly immigrated people are not so aware about local environmental conditions. How are they affected by climate change? Why do people migrate to another country? On land. Today, people might migrate to another country because of higher wages, better employment opportunities, and education opportunities. Next slide, please. How are newly immigrated people that are not aware about local environmental conditions affected by climate change? Climate change refers to shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. Therefore, when the people are not aware of local surroundings, they might not be aware of the surrounding conditions. For example, newly immigrated people might be caught unaware of the places they just moved into, as there might be sudden flash floods, heat waves, and other dangerous effects caused by weather. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed. And please remember, teamwork makes the dream work.
Thank you, Primary 3, for sharing with us your ideas. That was very interesting. Congratulations. Now I will invite the judges for questions that they may have.
Yeah, I can start if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. I think they were very powerful messages that were shared. So, and things that really stick to my mind. So it was really well presented. I was wondering, yeah, how you chose the angle that you were going to choose for this topic, because there are so many topics you can be speaking about within the theme. So here you were talking a lot about indigenous people and also about migration, right? So I was wondering if it's a decision you made as a group, or everyone decided to have a different focus, or how did it work? Thank you.
Can I say, please? We spoke about what are passionate about.
That's the most important. Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead, Aikari.
How we planned all of this is because we made group meetings with Miss Eva and Christy, and it was a bit hard because we were online and there were sometimes there were internet problems and microphone problems, but we tried our best and we did our best. And we could have never done this without Miss Eva and Christy again.
Thank you. Chrysanthi?
Yes, well done again, everybody. It was really nice. I enjoyed your presentation. And I have a question for you, because, you know, the theme that you were assigned is, I believe, one of the most interesting and difficult as well. So I was wondering, what kind of difficulties did you face, did you encounter while you were preparing for that theme, except for the fact, Perry, that you said with the microphones and the difficulties while being online. Thank you. Nelson, and then Perry, go ahead.
Can I answer, please?
Nelson, you're muted, I think. We can't hear you.
Can I answer, please? We had to remain focused on the topic, and we had to discuss a lot.
Okay, thanks, Saranga. Perhaps a comment from me. I thought you came across as a very hardworking and well-connected team. You know, internet difficulties aside, I think you actually worked together really well, and I think you understood each other's thinking. So here's the difficult question for one person to answer then. What's the one big takeaway message we should take from your presentation in, you know, just a few words? Who can do that? Perry, yes?
We are all people and we all need the same right in the world.
Excellent. That's very good summary. Thank you.
Joy, was there something that you would like to add? Okay. I will thank the judges for their questions, and good job